Say you needed to make some caulking to match a surface, any surface you got in your house. It could be your cabinets, could be your floor, could be the sink, the custom molded sink that you needed, and you want it to match perfectly. Now there is a couple of things out there that you can use that'll scoop all the color, the caulking out of a tube, and then you can replace the caulking after you've modified it with either paint or pigment. But they're limited. You can't make a white caulk dark green. It just doesn't happen. And even if you start with a dark green, you can't always make it the color you want. But if you take a product like this one called Exact Color, you can actually add some of the paint, any latex paint you've got, to match the color you need, in this case this one, and you can make the caulk in turn match the paint almost exactly, pretty darn near exactly. I've got a little jar of latex paint that is the color we want. You can use any latex paint, so the paint left over from painting your cabinet, the paint left over from painting your wall, or even a small tester sample of paint you needed to make to match something you had. So if you happen to have a countertop that you wanted to match, you could find a piece of the countertop and match it with some paint, mix up the paint, and then turn tint your caulk to match that countertop. Even if you don't have paint, you can always make some small quantity. So you get the kit, and inside the kit you get a tube of untinted caulk, a little box that comes with a few pieces in it. One is a syringe, that's really a 30 ml syringe, and that's how you draw the paint up to measure how much you need. One is a little squeeze bottle of an activator that takes this caulk, which is currently a liquid, and makes it into the consistency of caulk. And the other is a tip to put onto the tube so you could squeeze, give it a little more control, and a little cap that you can put on the tube to seal it so that it stays airtight, and when you shake it. To get this started, you take your tube and you break off this little seal that they give you. You draw up 30 ml of paint, and you take this and put it right in here. I find if you don't push it all the way down, it does that sometimes. You got to keep it just a little bit out of the hole. So after we've shaken it for about 60 seconds, take this little cap off, which wasn't quite so cooperative last time. I take this, which is the gelling agent, they call it activator. It makes the liquid almost the paint consistency material into the caulk that we need it to be. Take that, put our lid back on it for a minute. Shake it again for another 60 seconds. After we shook it for the 60 seconds, I let it stand for 30 minutes to allow the activator to activate. And put on the little enclosed tip that they give you. Put in your favorite caulking gun. And get caulk that matches your paint chip exactly. It's going to be a little bit lighter now, but after it has a chance to dry for about an hour or two, it'll match that exactly. I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. But so you know, the caulk is not an inexpensive, cheap caulk. It's a very good, highly flexible, highly adhesive caulk. So it sticks really well to things. This happens to be AZEX boards. It sticks to almost all surfaces very, very well. All right, one last thing I forgot to mention. The reason I grabbed this caulking gun is it's called a dripless caulking gun. So when you pull the caulking gun and you release the handle, the flow stops. You might get a little tiny bit out. But this is a normal caulking gun like most people use. And you stop with this one, it continues to pour out for a while unless you release the thumb lever. So that's why I chose that big yellow gun, because I don't want a giant pile of caulk on the table. It pretty much works by releasing some of the pressure when you release it.